guys, it's Reagan and welcome to the start of another reading vlog. It's actually Thursday and a very exciting Thursday, hey Clay, because it is the start of my Memorial Day weekend. I actually have a 4-day weekend. My work gives me Friday and Monday off, so I thought with the Thursday and a Friday, because Clay's working tomorrow, this is the perfect time for a 24-hour readathon. So I'm gonna be doing 24 hours of reading, as much as I possibly can, and then we'll just see how much we're able to read. I've had a decent reading month so far in the month of May, but it could definitely be better. So I'm hoping to read like 3 books or something in the next 24 hours. That would be really awesome. But without further ado, let's chat through my mini TBR. I kind of pulled a few different options. So let's just chat through them, shall we? So here they are. The first book, I might have my work computer still set up, so I'm gonna do it over here. The first book on my list is actually an ebook. It is the When a Scot Ties a Knot romance novel by Tessa Dare. I've read 100 ebook pages of this, of like 240 ebook pages, but the whole book is 384 pages. I'll figure out that math later, but this is the first book I'm gonna finish because I'm already started it. And then from there I have 3 books that I am intrigued by. The first one is A Thief's Daughter by Jeff Wheeler, which I think I will pick this up next. This is the second book to the King Fountain series, and I just been meaning to pick this up for a while, and this just feels like the right time. I read the first one super quickly, and this itself is not super long, like 350 pages, so it feels like a great book to read during a readathon. And then from there, I'm either gonna pick up, I think, either of these. Burn by Patrick Ness is a super anticipated book for myself. And it's also not very long. Patrick Ness's writing is also just so interesting, and I love it so much, and I just feel like his stories are really cool. And this is set in America in 1957, and it follows a family who hires a dragon to work on their farm. I'm sure there's some sort of metaphor hidden in all of that, so I'm very curious about this. Or I might pick up God's Grave by Jay Kristoff, which is book 2 to the Nevernight Chronicles. Loved book 1. I think I read that during a readathon, so it felt fitting to pick up book 2. I think this one is a little longer, and I know it takes me a little bit longer to read because it's like over 400 pages, but for a third book and because I've been wanting to read it, I feel like either of these would be good choices, plus my ebook. So those are this is my mini TBR that I hope to read. But yeah, I'm sitting on the floor now. I'm wrapping up my work day now, and the essential plan of this readathon is I'm going to read obviously tonight as late as I possibly can, and then all day tomorrow into tomorrow evening, which is Friday. I have tomorrow off, and I have very little planned besides making myself some like lunch sushi. I need to run like a small errand, but honestly I have nothing else planned, so let's just read as much as possible. So that's it. Welcome to the vlog. I hope you enjoy. And this will be vlog 1 of 2 vlogs happening this Memorial Day weekend. So yeah, okay. Welcome. Wish me luck, because I'm really hopeful. I have high hopes. Thinking of that Panic at the Disco song for this readathon. But now I'm gonna make a latte and change into pajamas because I'm tired of being dressed. Latte in the making. Crooked latte in the making. Hi pals, so I have changed into PJs, put the scrunchie in, the light sweater on, and I'm gonna sit down and start reading right away. I finished up work. I made myself a latte, as I've already shown. So a little more detail. I am going to sit and finish When a Scot Ties a Knot right now before dinner. I'm gonna make dinner. I have about 58% of the book left, and there's 384 pages, which maps into like 200 and something, I think like 220, 230 or something. So a good start before dinner, which I'm really pleased about. So I'm definitely gonna sit down and enjoy this now, and then I'll figure out what I'll start next after this. Overall, this book I'm liking. If you've never heard of it before, it's the 3rd book to the Castles Ever After series. It follows our main character who basically made up a Scottish fiance in the war so she could avoid going to balls and like having to enter society, and then one day he just kind of shows up and is like trying, like basically making her come through on all of her promises that she thought she was writing to a fictional person. It's definitely funny. It has all the trademarks of Tessa Dare and everything like that. It's not my favorite. I feel like every book I've read after the Girl Meets Duke quartet series I've been reading has just not been as good because I don't know, I feel like I started with the best and I'm going backwards, which is like never a good idea. I think if I started with these books, I would have really liked them, but I'm just comparing everything to the, you know, the Judge's Deal and all of those, which I loved so much. This is good. It has the humor, it has banter, it has like some implied consent, which I don't love. And then he's a little too jealous and possessive, which I also don't love. Therefore I think this is actually my least favorite of the ones I've ever read, which I'm a little surprised about, but it's still very entertaining and very much a fast read. But I do feel like I have to call out those two things because they just wouldn't be present in her newer books, so at least I don't think they would be. But anyway, I'm gonna finish it now though. It has a great setup and I really like our main character a lot, but it just is like, there's pieces of it that I just am not like a huge fan of. But it still has a lot of great Tessa Dare trademarks. But anyway, I'm gonna finish it now. Alrighty pals, just in the nick of time because I'm starving. I finished my first book. Hey, so I finished the When a Scot Ties a Knot. I'm gonna look up exactly how many pages I read. Calculated 220. I'm gonna round up to 227 because it's a 0.56, you know, round to the nearest whole number. So I read 227 pages of this book, so I'm definitely off to a great start. I would say I definitely liked the end quite a bit. I think it definitely picked up, and some of the flaws I mentioned of the main male character, I feel like he at least acknowledged them. It was like working to resolve it, which I appreciate from a character growth perspective. And the ending was really cute. It had some unexpected drama, I won't lie. But overall, it was an entertaining novel. I think I already explained the premise and the setup. One of the things I do like that Tessa Dare does is that she kind of gives every one of her female characters a like passion, and they're usually range, like they can be modern passions, but sometimes they are kind of like historically relevant. This particular main character is really into illustration. Particularly, she wants to be kind of like a naturalist illustration, which was really popular during this time period, which is basically a lot of gentlemen would travel to faraway places and like take dead specimens back to England. It's not the best practice, but then obviously people would be drawing them for like encyclopedias and things, and that's what she wants to do, which I think is actually pretty cool. Anywho, I thought this romance novel was solidly entertaining. Not my favorite by Tessa Dare, but I think if you like the Scotland vibe, it definitely has a lot of that too. But yeah, I definitely do actually think I liked it more than the first one, the Castles Ever After series, because I feel like our character, the male character, had more growth than the character in the Castle Ever After series. But I did find him not very likable in the beginning because I thought he was too jealous for like no reason. Didn't like that, but he kind of got over that. Anyway, I've read 227 pages so far tonight, which is very exciting. I'm gonna go start dinner now, and then I'm gonna ponder the next book I want to start. I am not sure. Thinking The Thief's Daughter, but we'll see. And then I'm gonna do more reading. This is what we're making tonight. I'm actually very jazzed about it. It's like a bean and poblano flauta. Should be delish. And I also think it's vegetarian, which is cool. Love veggie. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna start cooking this. Probably put some, I started the show, Never Have I Ever. I think it's called, it's a new Mindy Kaling comedy, and it's so good. So I'm gonna put that on whilst I cook. All right, here we're going. Pico de gallo. I meant to film myself while I chop this, and then I forgot.
I'm sorry.
Never Have I Ever's on. It's so good.
Don't you dare.
Frying process has started. Little extra toasty on these guys, but they should still be good. And these are prepped and ready to go. Yum! All right, dinner is consumed. Clay finished working, so I'm gonna take a minor break from reading because I'm gonna spend all day reading tomorrow and watch some Naruto. We are in the midst of a very big fight, so I'm very excited. Oh my god, I forget. Always, Avatar's on Netflix. We just watched this whole thing. It's so good. But we're gonna watch Naruto. Matilda gets me every time when she goes into her little cinnamon roll croissant little sleep. Oh, she's just so cute. She is just so cute. I just cannot with her all of the time. She's also shedding a lot right now, as you can see on her face. All right, world, I've dragged myself away from Naruto. It is so good right now, but I'm not doing a 24-hour Naruto watch-a-thon. No, pals. I'm doing a readathon. So I'm going to get to reading. I've already read over 200 pages this evening, which I'm really jazzed with. I think I've said this already, but the bulk of my reading I anticipate doing tomorrow, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to stay up as late as I possibly can tonight. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm starting The Thief's Daughter by Jeff Wheeler, which is the book 2 to the King Fountain series. The first one is I don't know what the first one's called. The Queen's Thief. The first one is The Queen's Thief. So it follows young boy Owen as he's kind of a political hostage at a court, and then he's kind of thrown in the middle of the politics, and he's, you know, makes a friend who I think is going to be one of the main characters in this book. And at the end of the first book, I think like a year or so passed, I have a feeling throughout the series we're going to see him grow up, and in this one we follow him and his friend, who is a girl, travel to the Northern Kingdom, where they're going to stay there, and I think he's going to work to hone his powers. The magic system in this book is called Fountain Blessed, meaning you're just kind of like really good at something. It could be anything. I always say when I describe this book, it can range from being really good at baking bread to being an exceptional warrior, and I think in the first book it's like hinted that has some sort of magical abilities. We don't know what they are. So I think part of that will be here, and also just seeing him kind of grow up. It reminds me a lot, in like vibe-wise, to the Farseer trilogy. But anyway, I'm gonna get started now because it's getting late and I'm already getting tired, and I want to read like a solid 100 or more pages tonight before I go to sleep. So I'm going to get reading now. Hi friends, so I have read a quick 40 pages of this book, and I did not realize, like, I thought this book was taking place like later, but I didn't realize we were gonna have such a big time skip. Like 10 years have passed since the first book, which I definitely don't mind because court politics need time to marinate. I just wasn't expecting it. Also, it starts out like with a bang. Like the first page is like a battle is happening, which definitely makes this book quite engrossing right off the bat. I remember the first one moving pretty quickly as well, so I'm hopeful that this is just a fast read. I mean, I read those 40 pages very quickly. I'm excited to learn more about Owen's powers. Obviously now he's 17 years old, so he is a young man and coming into his own and is like involved in politics in a different way. I appreciate the time skip too, because I feel like we can focus on like Owen's next stage in life. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, I was just surprised when I opened the first page. I was like, what? I like checked, I was like, is this the second book? Like 10 years has passed. Did I miss something? But anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading now. I just wanted to let you know that I have read 40 pages. Woo. Making good progress. I've read now over 70 pages. Matilda is sleeping, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, I am getting very, very tired. But I've almost read 300 pages tonight, which I'm really pleased with, and my goal is to read over 1,000 pages, so I think 700 pages tomorrow should be possible, because my eyes I'm barely able to keep them open. It has been a fight I am losing, unfortunately. Morning, everyone. I'll take the last of the coffee. Sorry, Clay. Good morning. So I am in my cute, comfortable day off loungewear. Let me show you. Here I am, ready to take on a full day of reading. I'm still unsure about how I feel about the scrunchy trend that I've been trying out, but I don't know, I think it's kind of fun. But I've got my I Cry at Work shirt on. I've got my Anthropologie joggers on, some socks. I'm comfortable. So last night I was able to read to page 100 of The Thief's Daughter here, and that's about 1/3 of the book. I stayed up really late. I stayed up till like past 2 a.m. but it was one of those kind of reads where you're reading so slow because your eyes are like drooping every 10 seconds. So for all my hard work, I only got to page 100. Regardless though, I'm gonna sit down now and try to finish this morning and then read a third book. I don't really have much planned today except reading. I need to take a shower and I need to go to UPS. Outside of that though, I plan to read a lot. I'm gonna start right now. I just woke up, got a cup of coffee. I'm gonna put the new 1975 album on that came out today. Listen to that while I read. And then I'm gonna make sushi later, maybe some muffins, but I don't know. I'm gonna focus on the reading. So I'm gonna do that now. but just wanted to let you know what was going on and how far I got. About a third of the way. So, not bad. Could be better. I did read over 300 pages yesterday, which I'm pretty pleased with, but any whoosies, I'm gonna start reading now. Hi pals, so I've just read another 120 pages of The Thief's Daughter, and before I talk about the book, I'm so frustrated with myself. There's something with my brain. I'm having the worst time focusing. I've been trying to read all morning. I'm finally like kind of getting into the swing of things, and I've had like a really good past hour, but it took me like 2 hours to read 20 pages. I do not know what was going on. Like I just could not focus. I even turned out the music and everything because I just couldn't get my brain to work, it felt like. But now I am starting to be able to read. I've read 120 pages, most of that in the past like hour. And I am actually really liking this book. So I think I mentioned last night that there is a 10-year time skip, which I kind of enjoy because the first book was really foundational just to get you really like to know the character Owen really well, but now like the world itself is much larger. The politics are like multi-kingdom, and like the issues that our characters are dealing with go beyond childhood, definitely. But having that first book like set in childhood made like a really great foundation to really understand and really care for a lot of the characters you're encountering in this story. And not just Owen, but like Evie too, which is his close friend, and seeing them have to kind of deal with much larger political issues and tests of loyalty is hard, and you're like rooting for them, which I really like. The magic in this series is super cool, and there's also been some new characters introduced that I really enjoy. And overall, I really like, this is like true classic fantasy, like court politics fantasy, and I'm really curious to see how it's going to continue to evolve, not only in this book but in the later books. And there's like conflict of romance too, which is really sad. It reminds me a lot of the Farseer trilogy. I'm not gonna lie, like there's a lot of parallels to it. But I don't know. I think I might like Owen more though, which is the main character of the series, because I feel like he's more trusting, which I appreciate. But anywho, they're very similar. So if you like the Farseer trilogy, again, if you check this out, because I think you would like it a lot. But yeah, I really like, I don't know, I like everything that's going on. There's a lot of plots that are happening, and there's a lot of like spying, but there's also a larger political game at play. It's interesting, and I'm liking it. And I'm finally starting to read for this dang readathon. I have read over 400 pages, like 450 pages, which I think is really good, but I'm trying to get to that 1,000 page mark, but we shall see if I'm able to get there. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna start the process of making lunch because it is a little more hands-on, so I'm gonna put some rice on, and then I'm going to get back to reading. I'm hopeful to finish this book. I have 140 or so pages of this left. So I'm hopeful that I'll be able to finish this really quickly in like the next hour and some change is my goal, and then I'm gonna start another book, so I'll keep you guys posted. I still need to run my errands, and I still need to shower, but those are on the back burner because I need to get into the reading game. But anyway, time to start some rice. Right, rice is on, so the process of sushi making has begun. I'm just gonna make some veggie rolls for lunch, something simple, just some avocados and some cucumber. I'm also gonna eat an Oreo because I need to banish my negative thoughts, and the only way to do so is with Oreos, because life is too short to feel guilty about not reading as many pages as you thought you would during a 24-hour readathon. Sometimes I have to remind myself I'm being ridiculous. This is my day off. As long as I'm enjoying the books and making progress and having a good time, that's what's important. I usually am not someone who gets caught up in my own desire to like succeed, like in reading. Like what even is that? But I got caught up in for a moment there. But I refuse to let it take over any more of my day. So I'm gonna eat an Oreo, I'm gonna sit on that couch, and I'm gonna enjoy The Queen's Thief and finish it, and then start a third book. And if I don't read 1,000 pages, that's fine. If I read only 5 more pages, that's fine. But I'm hopeful to read maybe like 600 or 700 pages within the 24-hour span, which I think is still very impressive, and I'll be proud of myself. But anywho, time to get the Oreo. Matilda, the window queen. It's actually a beautiful day outside. I think I'm gonna throw on some overalls in a bit, but I've read another 50 pages of this book. I am flying through the end here. It's actually really picking up, and I'm liking it a lot. And I'm kind of excited to see how the rest of the series unfolds, but I'm gonna finish this after lunch. But I have started the sushi preparation, which is like my new favorite thing to do right now because it tastes so good. So I'm just making some veggie rolls with an avocado and cucumber. I have my sushi rice, which I seasoned with the rice seasoning and kimchi extra seasoning, spicy mayo, wasabi, which I added too much water to, but time to get chopping and a rolling. Here's where I attempt the actual sushi part. And they're done. Top with some sesame seeds. I have some extra spicy mayo, which I'll probably eat with it on the side. Plus soy sauce and wasabi. Bon appetit. All right, it's me. I'm doing a hair mask. I'm about to do a reading montage because I am about to finish this book before I rinse off this mask in the shower. But I wanted to finish my book first, and I figured I've done a lot of reading montages on my channel, but I've never done one where I'm wearing a floral shower cap. So I like to keep things fresh and interesting over here if I can help it. Sunshine Pup, and I finished my book. It was over 350 pages. I've read the whole thing this afternoon. I'm now gonna take a shower and then start another book. I have about 2 hours left of my readathon, so I definitely feel like I can get another 100 or 200 pages read. I think a little over 2 hours, so on it. Hi pals, I thought I would talk from a new angle. I'm freshly laundered. It got all of a sudden super gloomy outside, which is a little disappointing because I even put my overalls on. Let me show you. Because it's supposed to be like 75 degrees and sunny, but oh well, it's not like I'm going outside. Anyway, I'm just reading. But I wanted to check in because I finished The Thief's Daughter by Jeff Wheeler, which ended up being, I think it's over 350 pages actually. Actually, it was 349 pages, and I have to say I really liked this book. I liked it even more than the first one. It really escalated the politics in a way I wasn't really expecting, and I guess defied some tropes because characters were forced to make some really hard decisions that were going to continue to play out in the next couple of books. And the political consequences at the end of this one was really intriguing, and I think there's going to be another time skip, which I'm looking forward to. Honestly, the end, like, there was some like tragedy throughout this book I wasn't necessarily anticipating that kind of broke my heart. Like adulthood, yeah, like duty and loyalty kind of having to trump individual desire is definitely explored in this book, and I feel like that is often present in a lot of fantasy novels, but usually things like individual desires win out, but that's not always the case in this. And also, like, there's a gray area with the ruler, like you're hoping you're making the right decision for the greater good of the world, but you're still relying on someone else inevitably to be like the best king in this series anyway, because Owen is not the king. He's just loyal to the king. So it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I think I liked it more than the first one. I'm gonna give it like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The end really picked up, and I'm really excited to pick up the third book in this series for sure. Very fast read, very good, very entertaining. So now I'm going to start my last and final book of this 24-hour readathon, which I'm hoping I'm just gonna fly through, and that's Burn by Patrick Ness. This is his new release. It's set in 1957. And follows a family who hires a dragon to help on their farm. It's set in the Pacific Northwest as well. I love Patrick Ness's writing. I'm really excited to have this. I'm hoping it's kind of weird but dark. Patrick Ness always has a lot to say, so I'm excited to see what that may be. How does the world end? It ends in fire. That's the tagline. So I don't know if this is going to be like magical realism and the dragon is supposed to not really be a dragon but be something else, or if it has like true fantasy elements to this story. I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. So I'm gonna try to read like a good 200 pages of this. I've read almost 600 pages, so I'm really pleased with that. So another 200 pages I think will be a really solid readathon amount. So I'm gonna sit down now, listen to the new 1975 album again, and read. So this book is super weird, but I'm super into it because I love weird, and Patrick Ness always has very quirky stories. So the dragons are not a metaphor, very real, and this is actually, at least so far, I've passed 50-page mark, like a dual perspective story. One of the perspectives, it's still very, very, very unclear who this person is. Like, are they in a cult, magic? I don't really know, but they're running from someone, and people died in the forest. Very vague, because that's all I really know. But our primary character, like our main character, though, is named Sarah, and she's grown up in the Pacific Northwest. Her father owns a farm. This is set in 1957, so this is in the midst of the Red Scare in America, and also obviously post-World War II, and in the Pacific Northwest there is a harrowing history of internment camps during World War II in America. Our main character, Sarah, is mixed race. Her mother was black, her father is white, and her closest friend is Japanese. On top of there being politics and dragons, Sarah and her friends and most of her family are very ostracized, on top of being kind of not very well off. So they hired this dragon, which kind of makes them even larger pariahs, because the dragon they hire is a Russian dragon, or from the Russian area. And in this world, in this alternative history, dragons exist, and they also have their own like political governments, and humans really mistrust them. Obviously, I'm not super far along in the book, but like it's noted that there was like dragon human wars in the 1700s, but there was like an uneasy peace brokered between them. So the dragons kind of keep to their own territories, but a few of them do contract themselves out to work for humans. And this particular dragon has done that. They don't really know why he's chosen to do so. But I have a feeling Sarah and this dragon are gonna become friends, and we're gonna learn a lot more about dragons and the history. But yeah, I'm so into this book. I think it's gonna be combining this weird, like, fantastical element with a really interesting time in American history that I also feel like it's not super talked about. I also really love that it's going to be exploring some deep social issues that were definitely prevalent and are still prevalent. I mean, there was an interaction with an officer in like chapter 3 of this book that was just so uncomfortable, and unfortunately still very much a thing that happens to this day. But yeah, so far I'm really liking it. It captured my attention right away, and there's definitely elements of mystery too, outside of this whole like there's dragons in this world. There's also, as I mentioned, this other POV that's very mysterious and kind of like, I don't know, like what am I thinking of? CIA, like escaping from some sort of, I don't know, I'm just speculating. It's just very mysterious and confusing, and I feel like it's something to do with the government, but I don't know for sure. Regardless though, I love it. I love it. This has caught my attention right away. I'm so happy about it. And I'm gonna keep reading now. As I've said, I'm over the 50-page mark, so I should easily be able to read 200 pages of this before the end of my readathon. Almost at the 100-page mark, and it's raining so hard, which I'm very sad about, but it's a cult. Second perspective, cult. Love a cult. And there's also like FBI agents we're following too. So I don't know, there's a lot of disparate things going on, and I'm really into it, and it has to do with dragons. Patrick Ness thinks of the most like creative and bizarre books, and I just flippin' always love them. I love weird stuff. What can I say? I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee, and I'm gonna easily pass the 200-page mark, I think. I mean, I'm flying through this, so I'm really excited about this book. Separate note, I bought these flowers yesterday. Look how pretty they are. They look like explosions. All right. Ooh, ooh, am I gonna knock my coffee cup down? Wow, that's time to finish reading. Just past the 130 mark of this book, and it has completely captured my attention. It is so mesmerizingly bizarre and dark, and I'm just so excited to see how this whole story is gonna come together. But just all of the inputs that Patrick Ness has put in the story so far have just intrigued me to no end. I've immediately felt connected to the characters, the story, the plot, it all. I'm loving every single second of it. It's been a minute since I've read a Patrick Ness book, and I'm quickly reminded why he's by far and away one of my favorite authors, because his stories just speak to me. But yeah, I'm going to keep reading. 200-page mark, here I come. Hi everyone, welcome to the end of the vlog. I just wanted to quickly wrap up everything I was able to read this past 24 hours. All in all, I would say I am very pleased. Actually, let me just quickly calculate how many pages I read. 227 plus 349 plus 202. Okay, great. So I'm actually really pleased with everything I was able to read. I did read just under 800 pages, so I'm really jazzed about that. So all in all, I would say very successful. To quickly round up everything I read, I know you guys have already seen it, so I'll be quick. The first one was When a Scot Ties a Knot by Tessa Dare. Probably my least favorite or second least favorite. It was entertaining, but definitely not as strong as her Girl Meets Duke series. That being said, I flew through the end. This was the first 227 pages I read. Millie is right here. From there, I read the entirety of The Thief's Daughter by Jeff Wheeler. Thought this was an exceptional second book to this series. I really, really liked it, and I can't wait to read the next in this series. Totally caught my attention and my interest, so I feel like I'm gonna be flying through these books all summer. And then from there, probably the biggest surprise of them all, because I expected to like this, I did read 202 pages of Burn by Patrick Ness. This is a weird one to say that it surprised me, but it did. Mostly because like I have loved Patrick Ness for so long, but it's been a minute since I've read his books. And I've just been kind of like reading so many series. I just haven't been thinking about Patrick Ness. And this book kind of also snuck up on me with its release. And I'm just obsessed with it. It's so bizarre. It's so interesting. He's just always the most clever author in combining these like fantastical elements or sci-fi elements into really cool narratives that are hyper focused on like characters, and you're really exploring so many different things within his stories. I love the setting. I love what kind of, and he's exploring so many different topics: race, identity, sexuality, cults, dragons, the end of the world, prophecies, like everything you could think of is in this book, and it's just captured me from page one, and I'm just really, really liking it. So that is everything I was able to read. I read a total of 780 pages, I want to say. So I'm definitely gonna say 800 pages in the title, so don't get mad at me. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon with another one soon. Bye.